Good afternoon and welcome back to the channel. I am sorry it has been so long since I have uploaded, filmed, done anything. It's been several weeks, basically since we got back from winter romp, but I'm back on it now. Had a lot of house and work related stuff to take care of. I started a new position at work, so kind of been learning how to do all that. But right now, as you can tell, got the 4Runner behind us. We're in the big girl. It's Sunday today, and we're taking the 4Runner back to Brian, my buddy, dropping it off. So since we're dropping off the 4Runner, that whole project is done. We hope, fingers crossed. So next, we're going to focus on some of my vehicles that need a little bit of attention. First and foremost is the big girl. We need to get her kind of squared away as far as doing some longer trips, maybe doing some more towing. Rovers on the Rocks was kind of a trial run for her, but we have some improvements to make. I'm going to give you guys a walk around probably after we get back home from this, and kind of tell you what we've done to the truck so far and what we're going to do very shortly. Also, we have another vehicle, maybe soon in a few weeks, that's going to be coming to stay in the garage. That is going to be mine. So, you know, not just the red Land Rover that belongs to Matt Collier. We're going to have maybe something else joining it. So, stay tuned, and I will touch base with you guys after I drop off the 4Runner. So, as is typical of Atlanta, here we are. It's 12:30, middle of the day on a Sunday. Bumper to bumper. Okay guys, 4Runner has been dropped off, so we're back home now, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the 250 kind of in and out, what I've done and what we're about to do. We've got the BHAF, the big honking air filter. We have got two brand new Interstate Megatron batteries in here. You can see we got some nice riff-raff intercooler boots. Replace those. Pipes and everything are stock. Inside the turbo, it's a stock Garrett, but we have got a wicked wheel, like the old school wicked wheel from you know, from the old body style Ford pickup trucks is in there. It's not like a billet wheel or anything. Reason I did that is just to maybe not build a ton of boost, but to get the truck on boost a little bit faster, therefore better for towing. So we've done that. We've also got the EBPV delete back there. So the EBPV is a valve that will shut, like a butterfly valve that will shut and help the truck warm up faster. We've deleted that, so it's just flow through. Truck already had a 4-inch exhaust on it from the downpipe on back, so it didn't have to do anything there, although we did put a new tip on it, which I'll show you in a minute. We put some more riff-raff stuff there. There's a little bung, I guess you call it, for the boost sensor. Boost sensor was located somewhere else and I didn't like how it was done, so we relocated that. Same with the pyrometer. Pyrometer was located on the downpipe, which makes no sense at all, so we plugged that and moved it to where it's supposed to be, down on the back of the driver's exhaust manifold. So that's about it for down here. And you know, we've been aggressive with our oil changes and stuff to kind of get this thing cleaned out. So let's look at kind of the outside of the truck. When I got the truck, it had these are from like an 08, I think, these wheels. So they're on spacers, but they have 35s on them, 315 75s. We got 08, I believe these are 08 tow mirrors. I like these a lot. A toolbox, of course, CB antenna. This rear bumper is something that I am not a big fan of. It's bent, it's kind of hanging a little low. It's got these dumb lights in it that don't really work, especially since I unplugged them. The wiring on this truck was kind of a mess. So this is probably going to get gone at some point in lieu of a new just plain stock bumper, because I like how they look, but that's not really a huge priority at the moment. Same with the bed. We got a gooseneck hitch, but the bed looks a little rough, so probably going to bed line this. I may not go the $400 line X route. I may just get the gallon of liner paint from Amazon. I think Herculiner is what it's called, and do it by hand. Underneath here we have replaced these sway bar end links because they were knocking all over the place. We put a Bilstein steering damper on there because there was no damper at all. And we also replaced the sway bar, or not the sway bar, sorry, but the panhard bar, because those bushings were just completely gone. And I think that's about it for the outside. Inside we have our exhaust temperature gauge, boost gauge, trans temp gauge, Alpine head unit, and we got our brake controller, and I also added a couple more USB ports and just a couple cheap speakers from Crutchfield that are better than the worn out stock units, little CB radio, and of course the tuner. So that's about everything. Now let's talk about what I don't like about this truck and what we're going to be fixing. So back to what we just talked about, this tuner. Ooh, forgot to mention I added the seat covers for Marathon. Sorry, I'm a little all over the place. So this tuner I don't really like. The reason for that is this truck has a built transmission. The transmission has a triple disc billet torque converter, and it has an upgraded valve body to increase the line pressure. Now, that was added after the tuner was put on this truck, because I'm pretty sure the order of events was the guy who had this truck put a tuner on it, and then he burned up the transmission and had the transmission built. So what that means is this tuner was never designed for a transmission that has a triple disc converter, like this upgraded line pressure, all, you know, the upgraded clutch packs, all this stuff. So this thing shifts way too hard. Excuse me. So this is going to be going away. We are going to go with DP Tuner. Some of you guys have heard of DP Tuner. It's run by a guy named Jody, very famous for 7.3 tuning. So that is going to be designed to compensate for this transmission. Our shifts should be a little bit better, and hopefully, you know, I can kind of mitigate any further damage. What happened with this transmission is that I think it shifts so hard, and it has been kind of abused a little bit, it cracked the flex plate. It was the old original flex plate, so I have replaced the flex plate in this truck already. So I would like to not replace it again. So hopefully the new tuner will calm the transmission down a little bit. Here I don't have a ton of plans. I kind of, you know, maybe we could swap the turbo out for a Garrett 38R, the ball bearing, but I don't really see a whole lot of reason to do that. This truck is going to be, it's going to be a tow rig. I want it to be kind of mild, reliable, you know, good for long interstate trips. So with that in mind, these tires and this lift are going to be going away very shortly. I drove this thing all the way up to Pennsylvania with this approximately 4-inch lift on it and these 35s, pulling a trailer with another truck on it. It was not very fun. It was all over the place. So that could be because the steering box is starting to wear out. We're going to adjust that a little bit, maybe even replace it. But in the interest of gaining some mileage, some controllability, we are going to remove this kind of janky lift. If you can see here, this lift was just, there's just some extra leaf springs jammed in there. So we're going to pull those out. And I had actually put an extra leaf spring in the back to kind of even everything out because the front was sitting a little high. So that one leaf is going to come out of the back, 2 or 3 are coming out of the front to drop this truck back down and we are actually going to go, these are 315/75s, and we are going to go with something a little milder. We're going to do a 275/75. It's a little closer to stock size, and that is hopefully going to bring this truck you know, to a point that it is a lot more enjoyable to drive, and probably going to gain some mileage with that as well. So also we've got some other goodies over here that are going to be going on. If you can tell there, this truck has, for some reason, F250 badges on it. It's not an F350. So we have got some new F250 badges. These, I think, came from Truck Emblem Warehouse. Very nice. Got the nice 3M double-sided tape on the back. So we got 3 of these. They're pretty cool. We got the international logo underneath them. From Riff Raff Diesel. Riff Raff has been a great source for a lot of the parts on this truck. We've got a high-pressure oil crossover. Hopefully smooth the idle out a little bit. We got a new idler pulley in here because the one on the truck is squeaking. And we have a new fuel pump. This was a pretty inexpensive part, and I'm hoping it solves some of the issues that we're having, like a long crank and kind of some stumbling when you let off the gas, and the torque converter, it comes out of lockup and disengages. So that is what we're going to be doing on the 7.3 in probably the next week or so. We're going to slap some of this stuff on. It should be really easy. Fuel pump, super easy to put on. Same with the idler pulley. The oil crossovers, maybe a tiny bit more work, but we're going to get this thing running right. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for as we put on these 7.3 parts. We're going to have some videos coming up for you working on the Land Rover, because, you know, Collier's, we got to replace the left side of his truck. And like I mentioned earlier, we may have another addition coming to the garage. So stay tuned for that in the coming weeks, and hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel to follow along for all this new content that's coming. Thanks.